Hey, this one's not. We're going to get started shortly. Let me give a few more minutes. I'm on 2 different platforms right now, so this will be interesting. Testing out YouTube Live today and this week, and then I got my Facebook. So 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started. While we're waiting, hopefully you can hear me okay. If you can't hear me, let me know. I think you can comment in the YouTube live video as well if you want to say hey. If you want to grab 2 blocks if you have them. If you plan to start a yoga practice or maintain one, I would recommend getting some props, blocks, straps. You can get a set through Amazon pretty cheap. So grab 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, it's completely fine. You don't need them. You can always just grab a book or something similar to a block, that you can use as well. And then for a strap, I just have a belt. I have my V belt, but you can use anything that looks like a strap or a belt. So grab something like that as well. And then you can grab 1 towel just to sit on later on when we do some stretches. So grab some of that, and then we'll get started in 1 momento. Okay, and then once you get settled, we're going to get started. Hope y'all are having a fantastic beginning to your week. Mine was stressful, but what is new with that? I think that's why I'm a yoga teacher, because it balances out my stressful work day versus yoga. It's like a great balance. But I hope y'all are having a great start to the week. I'm not sure if you are quarantined or staying in or still essential and working. But I'm here with you no matter what you're doing during the day. We are all in this together. And again, I am so beyond happy and thrilled to be able to continue to teach yoga through social media and things like the internet. It's a really amazing thing. And I'm really thankful that I can provide this for everybody during this crazy time. So this is going to be a beginner's flow. I do kind of want to get moving a little bit just to start out the week, especially if we have been sitting down all day and not doing too much. It's been a kind of dreary day. So we're just going to do some movement, but totally beginner based. I'll provide you some modifications. I'll let you know how you can use some props. So again, we might be doing a home practice for a little while now, in the future. So I would recommend maybe, purchasing some blocks or, just finding something in your house that you can use as a prop. Okay. Winnie's saying hello to everybody as she does in every single video. So hello, Winnie. She will be here throughout the entire class. All right. So let's get started. And we're actually going to start sitting. So come to a comfortable seat. You can use one of your blocks or props that you have. You can place that between your ankles like so and sit down on your shins. You can also sit with your legs crossed in front of you like so. If you don't have a block, that's completely fine. You can sit on the floor or sit on one of those towels I told you to get folded up. Okay? But just come to a comfortable seat. Legs crossed, hands right above your knees on your thighs. And you're going to sit up tall, lengthening from the sides of your waist, grounding your sit bones down into whatever they're on, whether it's the block or the floor. Just breathe normally. And think about the crown of your head and think about a string being attached to it. And imagine me lifting you up by that string. And think about lifting up from there. And then slowly close your eyes. Continue to breathe normally and, focus on your breath and pay attention to your breath going in and out, but don't force it or strain it. Just allow it to happen and just think about how beautiful it is that we just breathe so naturally, in and out. Feel the air as it comes in through your nostrils. Feel it as it comes out. And then very slowly start to deepen your breathing, taking a long, slow, deep inhalation, followed by a long, slow, deep exhalation. And on each inhale, just getting a little bit deeper, feeling your body a little bit more each inhale, and then exhaling it all out. Good. Take one more deep breath in and breathe out. Good. Take your left hand, place your left hand on your chest. So think about your pointer finger just grazing your collarbone. Take your right hand and place it on your belly. Think about your thumb being right where your belly button is, your hand below your belly button. We're going to do a couple rounds of 3-part breathing. So when I count 1, you're going to breathe into your belly. When I count 2, you're going to breathe into your ribs. And when I count 3, you're going to breathe up into your chest. When I say breathe out, you breathe out 1 from your belly, 2 from your ribs, 3 from your chest. So 3 parts, okay? Just breathe normally. Good, and then exhale all the air out. Exhale, exhale, exhale. And then breathe in through your nose for a count of 1 into your belly, 2 into your ribs, 3 into your chest. Breathe out, 1 from your belly, 2 from your ribs, 3 from your chest. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. One more. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Slowly bring your hands down to your knees and very slowly open your eyes. As you can see, Winnie hates it when I do these videos because she always brings me her toys to play with her. So let's see how this goes. Continue to breathe normally. Reach your arms up over your head. Stretch your fingertips up. And then your exhale, side bend to your right. So right arm comes down. You can bend your right elbow as you reach your left arm up and reach it over. Really stretching through the side. Good. Inhale, slowly come back up to the center. Reach both arms up. Exhale, side bend to your left. Left arm comes down. You can bend your left elbow as you reach your right arm up. Reach it over. Stretching that side. Good. Inhale, come up. Exhale, side twist to your right. So your right arm comes behind you. Left arm rests on your right knee. Lift your torso up. Exhale, twist to the right. Gently. Inhale, come back up to the center. Reach your arms up. Exhale, side twist to your left. Left hand comes behind you. Right hand resting on your left knee. Lifting up. Exhaling and twisting. Good. Inhale, come up to the center. Exhale, side bend to your right one more time. Reaching your left arm up and over. Inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, come up to the center. Exhale, place your hands down. Come into a tabletop position. So your hand on your hands and knees. Your knees are directly underneath your hip bones. And then untuck your toes and press the tops of your feet down into the floor. And get your arms in one line. Your wrist, elbow, shoulders in one line. And think about what's happening to your elbows. So a lot of times we tend to lock our elbows out. So mine are kind of weird and they kind of like go forward and hyperextend. So just think about having a slight bend in your elbows, just enough that the inside of your elbows points in. And then turn your hands slightly out, spread your fingers. And then your hip bones, scoop your hip bones up towards your bottom ribs. That way you're not arching into your lower back. Okay, you're keeping a nice neutral spine. Winnie's in rare form tonight. Press down into the tops of your feet. And then inhale, lengthen your chest forward, look up for cow pose. Think about your tailbone tilting up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, round your spine, look toward your belly button for cat pose. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet and your shins. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, then look up. And take your entire exhale to round, just warming up the spine a little bit. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up, and then exhale, round. Good. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands just about a hand space in front of you. So your arms are a little bit angled. Keep turning your hands slightly out. They don't have to be too far turned out, just a little bit. Tuck your toes under, and then what you're going to do on your exhale, you're going to press into your feet and your hands. Lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Keep your heels lifted up high and bend your knees, and then really lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep a nice long spine. So you want to bend your knees as much as you need to really lift the tailbone up. On your next inhale, slowly walk your feet to your hands. Keep your knees bent as you walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Pause once you get there. Keep your knees slightly bent. Inhale, lift up halfway. Place your hands on your shins or your upper thighs. Lengthen your chest forward. Draw your elbows in. And then exhale, release. Fold over. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen again. Hands on your shins or your upper thighs, whatever feels better. And then think about lengthening from the sides of your waist. Exhale, release, and forward fold. Inhale, keep your knees bent. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Reach your hands up over top of your head. Reaching your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Good. Okay. Stay facing towards the front. And bring your arms down by your sides into Tadasana Mountain Pose. So your feet are hip bone distance apart. Arms down by your sides, and you're rolling your shoulders out and then flipping your palms forward. So the action of your arms turning is coming from your shoulders, right? Okay. And then do that same action with the crown of your head. So feel like there's a string here, and I'm coming up and I'm like pulling it up. Okay. We're going to do some neck rolls. So what I want you to do is take your chin to your chest. Keep your torso long, so don't round your spine. Just your chin is going to your chest. And on your next inhale, I want you to think about your right ear going towards your right shoulder. And then exhale, slowly roll behind you. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And come back to the center, chin to your chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, roll it around, left ear, left shoulder, and then come back to the center. One more time. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, roll it around, left ear to left shoulder, and come back to the center. We're going to switch sides. So your next inhale, left ear to left shoulder, pause. And then exhale, come all the way around, right ear, right shoulder, and come back to the center. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, slowly roll it around and come back to the center. One more time. Left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, slowly roll it around. Right ear, right shoulder. Come back to the center. Good. Slowly lift your head up. Lift your chin up. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come forward. Keep your knees bent as you fold over. And you can bring your hands to the floor, or you can put your hands on blocks. So I'm going to show you some ways you can use your blocks, even if you don't have them. So that way you can decide whether it's a good idea to get some or not. So you can put your hands on blocks if your hands don't touch the floor. And you want to shift your weight slightly forward. So you want to keep your hips in line with your ankles. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen, hands on your shins or upper thighs. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Keep your knees slightly bent, lift your arms up. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees a lot, place your hands on the floor. Step your left foot back and come into a lunge. Bring your left knee to the floor, that's your back knee, and untuck your back toes. And really press down into your back foot, and that will kind of relieve any of the pressure that might be on your knee because you're engaging your muscles in your leg. And then make sure that your left knee is not directly underneath your hips. It should be behind your hips, okay? Press down into your right foot. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips. So again, you can use your blocks here and put your hands on your blocks at the lowest, at the middle, okay, whatever feels good. But lengthen your approach forward. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. So what I want you to think about doing is pressing down into your foot, lift up about an inch, and you'll really feel your leg muscles engage. Instead of going down and sinking down into your joints, lift up a little bit. Gauge and fire up your hamstring in your right leg. Press down into the top of your left foot. Exhale, place your hands to the floor, tuck your back toes under, lift your back leg up. So you're in a lunge, like a runner's lunge. And then step your right foot back, come to a plank. Then move your feet back a little bit so your hips are parallel to the floor. You can always drop your knees down. This is always an option, okay? Otherwise, think about pressing your heels back. As you exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly walk your feet to your hands, walking your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Place your hands on the floor. Step your right foot back. So you're on that lunge. And then place your right knee to the floor. My cat is going crazy today. Okay, untuck your back toes. So the top of your right foot is on the floor. And really press down into your foot. You can essentially lift up by pressing down into the top of your foot. Press down into your left foot. Come up onto your fingertips, look up. If this is too stressful, again, this is where putting your hands on something is really helpful because it gives you a little bit of a lift and it creates more space. Keep breathing. Firm your outer hips in. So think about your left hip firming in towards the middle of your body. And then inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Press down into your left foot, lift up a couple inches. Really fire up those leg muscles. Keep breathing. Lift your torso. And then exhale, place your hands under frame your left foot, tuck your back toes under, lift your back leg up. So you're in a runner's lunge. Step your left foot back, come to plank. So now I want you to focus on your arms. Press your hands down, lift your arms up. So no sinking down. So you want to lift up. Place your knees down if you need to at any point in time. Lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Move your feet back, maybe an inch or two. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk your hands to your feet. Hands to feet, slowly. Slowly. Good. Keep your feet hip bone distance apart. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, sit down to chair pose, Utkatasana. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. So there's a couple things that happen here when you're in chair pose. And I'm going to let you kind of sit in this. It's one of my favorite poses to do. I know it hurts sometimes. So you can always come up a little bit, take a breather, and come back down. But a lot of times we do what they call it the booty pop. So your tailbone sticks out and your butt kind of goes back. So the other thing that happens is people kind of tilt too far under and give themselves a posterior tilt. So you want to find that middle where you're lengthening your tailbone towards the floor, lifting up from the sides of your waist. Feet are hip bone distance apart, and then sink down a little bit more. And then maybe look down at your feet. If you cannot see your toes, shift your weight back. And press your heels down into the floor. Keep breathing. You got this for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, place your hands on the floor, step your right foot back, come into your lunge. Okay, from here, make sure that your left knee, that's your front knee, make sure your knee is in line with your ankle. It's not going too far forward. You want to make sure it's in line with your ankle. And make sure you have a long enough stance so that way you can really press your right thigh up and engage your back leg. Firm your outer hips in, and then your next inhale, if you want to put your hands on blocks, you can. Place your hands on your hips, elbows point up, slowly lift your torso. Good. Just keep your hands on your hips for now. Bend your right knee a couple inches and then lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. Lift up from the sides of your waist. So instead of lifting up from your chest, which kind of gives you a back bend, think about lifting up from the sides. So you're lifting your entire torso. Sink down a little bit more into your left knee. And inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, come back to your lunge. Inhale, straighten slowly. And exhale, lunge. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, place your hands down to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back. Drop your knees right where they are on the floor. Okay, so keep your toes tucked under for now. Draw your upper arms in. So instead of your elbows pointing out, think about your elbows pointing back, right? So you're drawing your upper arms under and then slowly, don't crash, lower all the way down to the floor. How was that? Is that okay? Okay. Bring your hands under your shoulders and untuck your toes and press the tops of your feet down. And then just bring your chin to the mat and try not to look up at me right now. Just pay attention to what I'm saying and see if you can follow along with my voice, okay? So press down into all 10 toes, from your big toe to your baby toe. Press down into the top of your foot where your shoelaces are. And on your next inhale, draw your upper arms in, lengthen your chest forward, and lift your head, neck, and chest up off the floor. It doesn't have to come up very high. And you're looking right past the edge of your mat. Again, you don't want to look all the way up if you're looking up at me, because then you're going to crank your neck. So just kind of look forward, right past the edge of your mat. Keep breathing. And then exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Again, lifting your chest up, lengthening your chest forward. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Your kneecap should lift up. And then exhale, release, come down. One more time, inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels, so feel your hip bone scooping up towards your bottom ribs. Keep pressing down to all 10 toes. And then exhale, release, come down. Good. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. So let's kind of work here a little bit. If you need to take a break, you can always go to child's pose, coming down to your knees, hips to heels, arms in front of you or behind you. It's always an option, okay? So come up onto the balls of your feet. So lift your heels up high off the ground. And then bend your knees a lot. And then really from your hands all the way to your shoulders, lift up. And then from your shoulders to your tailbone, lift up. So you're engaging from your hands to your elbows, to your shoulders, to your shoulders, to your tailbone. Keep breathing. Good. On your next inhale, slowly walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway length and hands on shins or upper thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Lifting up from the side of your waist. Exhale, sit down to chair pose, Utkatasana. Bring your hands to heart center. Okay, so we're going to do a twist. Okay, so your feet are hip bone distance apart. Lifting up from the sides of your waist. And then on your exhale, I want you to twist to the right. You're just twisting from your torso. You're not twisting with your entire body. So your hips below stay where they are. So you're lifting and twisting from your upper body, using your core muscles to twist you. Inhale, come back to the center, sit down a little bit more. Exhale, twist to your left. Keep breathing. Inhale, come back to the center. Stand straight up, reach your arms up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Right arm down, left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, place your hands on the floor, step your left foot back, come into your lunge. So same thing, think about your right knee lining up with your right ankle, toes point forward. Back leg is nice and strong. You don't want it bending because then you can't use the strongest muscle in your left thigh, which is your quad. So really press your quadricep towards your hamstring, your front thigh into your back thigh. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips. Again, you can use blocks here. Place your hands on your hips, elbows point up. Slowly lift your torso. Bend your left knee a couple inches. Again, lift up, lengthen your tailbone down. Sink down a little bit more into your right knee. Back heel is lifted up towards the ceiling. So you see I'm high on the ball of my foot. I'm not all the way down. I'm lifted up. Then inhale, reach your arms up. Keep breathing. So relax your shoulders. So one thing you want to think about is what's happening to your shoulders. You won't want your arms all the way up here. You want to relax your shoulders down and maybe bring your arms forward of your ears a little bit. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, come back to your lunge. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, lunge. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, place your hands under, frame your right foot. Step your right foot back. Drop your knees right where they are. So you see how my knees are behind my hips. That's where you want them to be. You don't want them under your hips. Okay, behind. Draw your upper arms in. Draw them under. Keeping your entire torso in one line. Slowly lower all the way down. Nice. Okay, untuck your toes. Press tops of your feet down. Walk your hands back so they're a little bit behind your shoulders. Think about your wrists lining up with your elbows. Chin on the mat. Lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. On your next inhale, lift up. Baby cobra. Keep drawing your upper arms in. And exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up. Baby cobra. Again, pressing down into your feet. And exhale, release, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Baby cobra. Lift your hands up an inch off the floor. Keep drawing your upper arms in. Keep breathing. And exhale, release, come down. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Same thing, bend your knees a lot, lift your heels up, and then press down into your hands and lift up through your arms. All the way up to your tailbone. And then from your tailbone, this time feel the energy coming out of your heels without your heels touching the floor. On your next inhale, walk your feet to your hands. Lift up halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, place your hands on your hips. Okay, stand in Tadasana with your feet. So feet are hip bone distance apart. Press down into all four corners of your feet. Your big toe mound, your small toe mound, big toe, small toe, two corners of your heels, okay? So you're pressing down into the floor. Slight bend in your knees, just very slight. You don't even notice that it's bending. You're just lifting your kneecaps up toward your hip bones. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. Lift up from the sides of your waist. Draw your shoulder blades together just slightly. You're not like, pressing them together. Just drawing them towards each other. And then your next inhale, put all the weight into your left foot. Firm your outer left hip in. So no sinking down into your left hip. Firm that baby in. And then bend your right knee. Lift your right heel above the floor. And you don't want your right hip going above your left hip. Keep your hips in one line. You can even put your hands on your hip points here so you can see what's happening to your hips as you move. Okay? All right. From your hip socket, turn your right leg out to an angle just from the hip socket. So you're turning your leg out to your own range of motion. Bring your right heel into your ankle. Keep lifting up. Press down into your left foot, but feel yourself lifting away from the floor. Place your hands together to heart center. Lift up from the crown of your head. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, pick up your right foot, place it on your right or your left calf. On your next inhale, you can stay here or reach your arms up. Drawing your upper arms in, pretend like you're holding a block between your hands. And just gaze in front of you. Gazing at something that's not moving, because if something is moving, it's probably going to distract you. And then your next inhale, bring your right knee to the center and flex your foot. Extend your leg out in front of you. Press your heel forward. You can lift your leg up a little bit higher, but you don't have to. Bend your right knee, bring your left foot or your right foot so it's parallel to the floor. We're going to do some movement, okay? So on your next exhale, you're going to come into like a baby warrior 3, okay? So your arms come forward. You're going to tap your right foot to the floor, your toes, and then inhale, come back up. Try not to touch the floor. That's the challenge. Keep lifting your torso. Exhale, come back. Tap your right toes to the floor behind you. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right leg back. Tap your toes. You can bend your left knee. Inhale, come up. One more time. Exhale, tap your right toes behind you, bending your left knee. Inhale, come up. Breathe. Hold it for 3. Flex your right foot. 2, 1. Slowly come down. Good. You can roll out your ankles. Give a little shake. Because you're home and nobody's looking at you unless your animal's there or your kids or whoever's in your house. Okay. And we're going to switch sides. Okay. Right foot. So press down into your right foot. Bring your hands to your hips. And then bend your left knee. Lift your left heel above the floor. Lift up from your torso. And again, you don't want to be slouching forward either. And you don't want to be, arching your back. So just lift up. Draw your shoulder blades slightly together. And then from your hip socket, turn your left leg out at an angle. Place your left heel to your ankle. Firm your outer right hip in, but keep your left hip in line. So you can put your hands right on your frontal hip points here, and you can kind of see what's happening. Bring your hands together to heart center. Keep firming your outer hips in. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, lift your left foot up to your right calf. And option 1, stay here. Option 2, reach your arms up. And you don't want to do this, right? So think about drawing your arms under, holding a block, a pretend block between your hands. And you can bring your arms a little bit forward of your ears. Keep lengthening your tailbone down. Keep breathing. Okay. Bring your left knee to the center and flex your foot. Okay, so we're going to go into the movements again. So it's like a baby warrior 3. You're going to bend your right knee, shift your weight forward as you straighten your left leg, tap your toes behind you. Inhale, lift up, left knee comes up, flex your foot. And then exhale, come behind you, tap your left toes down. Inhale, slowly come up. And exhale, tap your toes behind you. One more time, inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, tap your toes behind you. Inhale, slowly come up. I forgot to do something, so we're going to do it now. Extend your leg out in front of you. Flex your foot. Heel presses forward. Keep breathing. Maybe lift your leg up a little bit higher. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. Shake it out. Roll it out. Do what you need to do. And then come to the top of your mat and find stillness. Coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathing normally through your nose. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Spin your back heel down to the floor. Bring your back toes in. So your back foot is on the floor at an angle. Firm your outer right hip in. Press down into your right foot. Keep your right knee bent. Inhale, windmill your arms up and around. Coming into warrior 2. Pressing your left thigh back as you sink down. Don't let your right knee go past your ankle. So make your stance a little bit longer if you need to, or you can shorten it if you're feeling any kind of pain or discomfort. You can also make your stance wider if you're feeling any kind of discomfort. Reach your fingertips out in front of you to each side, reaching away from each other, gazing over your front hand. Relax your shoulders. And then think about scooping your front hips, this part of your hip. Scoop that up toward your bottom ribs to lengthen your tailbone down. On your next inhale, keep drawing your right buttock under, pressing your inner right thigh to the right. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Come into reverse warrior. Reach your right arm up, reach it back. And exhale, warrior 2. Come back up. Inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Pause here. Snap your fingers 2 times. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands down. Frame your right foot. Step your right foot back. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then your next inhale, slowly walk your feet to your hands. Walk your feet all the way up. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. Come back to your lunge. Spin your back heel down to the floor. And you're just going to bring your back toes in a little bit. So your back foot, your toes are pointing towards the front right corner of your mat. Bend into your left knee. Keep drawing your right buttock under you. And then your next inhale, windmill your arms up and around, coming back into warrior 2. So again, you don't want to have like the world's longest stance, but you don't want it so short that your knee's going way past your ankle, right? So think about your knee lining up with your ankle. Press down into all 4 corners of your feet. Reach your fingertips away from each other. Press your right thigh back. Lift up from your torso, but relax your shoulders. Gaze over your front hand. Press down into your front heel. So think about your left heel really pressing down into the floor, and you'll feel your hamstring fire up. Square your rib cage more towards the front. And then your next inhale, shift your weight forward slightly. Flip your front palm, come to reverse warrior. Left arm reaches up, reaches back. Keep pressing your inner left thigh to the left. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up. Think about your back hip coming forward. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lift up, reach up. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your front leg, stay here. Snap your fingers 1 time. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, place your hands under, frame your left foot, step your left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do some lion's breath here. So bend your knees, lift your heels up, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Breathe in through your nose, and then open your mouth, stick out your tongue, sigh it out. Then breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, sigh it out. One more time. Breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, sigh it out. Good. Inhale, slowly come back to plank. Drop your knees down. Draw your upper arms under and slowly lower all the way down. Bring your arms down by your sides. And have your palms pointing in towards each other. And press down to the tops of your feet and get your feet so that they're hip bone distance apart. So you don't want them wider and you don't really want them together. So just about hip bone distance apart. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Keep pressing down into the tops of your feet. Reach your fingertips behind you, but keep them on the ground, your arms. And then on your next inhale, just lift your head, neck, and chest up off the floor. You don't have to come up very high. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Press your baby toe down. Keep lengthening your chest forward. Inhale, lift your arms up a couple inches. And reach your fingertips back. And don't spread your fingers so much that you're stressing your fingers out. And then exhale, release, come down. This time, have your palms pointing down. Keep your chin on the floor. On your next inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest up. Reach your toes behind you. Press down to the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift your arms up. Reach your fingertips back. Inhale, lift your feet up a couple inches. Maybe, you don't have to. Spread your toes. Keep reaching your toes behind you. Reach them back. And then exhale, slowly come down. Turn one cheek to one side. Take a few breaths here. Even out your breathing. Good. On your next inhale, bring your chin to the mat. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. All right, so what you're going to do is keep the tops of your feet pressing down. You're going to lift your chest up, and you're going to bring your forearms to the floor. So you want to think about your wrist lining up with your elbows and your elbows lining up with your shoulders. And then really press your hands and your forearms down into the floor and lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. So you don't want your lower back to do all the work. Our lower back is already very flexible. So you want to lengthen your lower back more so than bend it. So lengthen your tailbone down, keep pressing down to the tops of your feet, and then lift and lengthen your chest as you press your arms down and lift up. Good. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Keep lifting your chest up. And then maybe, you don't have to do this, but on your next inhale, you're going to straighten your right arm in front of you, so you're on your fingertips. Keep pressing down to your feet. Keep pressing down into your left arm and lifting up. Good. Slowly slide your hand back. Come back to Sphinx. And exhale, come down. Just keep your elbows bent with your hands by your shoulders. Just take a breath here. And then inhale, slowly come back up to Sphinx. Just going to do that on the other side. So press down to the tops of your feet. Lengthen your tailbone down toward your heels. So again, think about your tailbone right now and what it's doing. You know, you can even reach back there and kind of feel it. It's probably lifting up slightly, and you might feel that in your lower back, and you'll feel your lower back naturally round. So lengthen your tailbone down towards your heels. Press down to the tops of your feet. Press down into your arms and lift your chest up. So there's a big difference between this and this, okay? So you're pressing your hands down and lifting your chest up. Keep pressing your right hand down. Keep your left hand on the floor as you just slide it forward, so you're on your fingertips. Keep lifting up. Keep breathing. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Great. Okay, exhale, come back to Sphinx. Place your hands on the floor. And slowly press yourself up to tabletop. Do not go into child's pose yet, okay? Don't go into child's pose yet. Just come to tabletop. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Just take a breath here. We'll take a break in a second. And then your next inhale, slowly walk your hands to your feet. Walk your hands back to your feet. Good. And then from here, bend your knees a lot. So bend your knees so much that you just allow your torso to rest on your thighs. Allow your head to hang. And then you can grab opposite elbows if you like. Shift your weight slightly forward so you feel the weight in the balls of your feet. Your heels are still down, but they're very light. Just pause here. If you want to sway side to side, you can. Good. Then release your arms, release your hands to the floor. And then go ahead and shift your weight back to your heels. Pick up your feet, and you're going to bend your knees a lot. Flip your hands so the backs of your hands are on the floor, and slide your hands under your feet. So the balls of your feet are like massaging your palms, and your fingertips are like tickling your heels. Okay, do that with both of your hands and feet. And then shift your weight forward. And so you have a lot of the weight in the balls of your feet, and you'll feel it pressing down into your palms. Keep your knees bent, but lift your tailbone up and lengthen your rib cage down, firming your outer hips in at the same time. Okay, so here's the fun part. What you're going to do, on your next inhale, look to the top of your mat. You're going to walk or wobble, but very carefully, to the top of your mat with your hands under your feet. Then pause once you get up there. Relax your head and neck. Okay, then slowly release your hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up. So bend your knees, starting at your lower back, tailbone. Slowly start to roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time. Your head is the last thing to come up. Very good. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to grab a strap, a belt, or anything that looks similar. and that you can wrap around your feet, okay? If you don't have one, that's fine. You don't have to go find one. I'm going to give you a modification if you don't have one. I just have a gi belt. I don't even have a yoga strap with me in my house. You should probably go get one of those from the studio. Okay, so what you're going to do is press down into your left foot, and then go ahead and take the strap or the belt, and you're going to wrap around the ball of your right foot like this. Okay, and then I want you to hold on to close to your foot or farther away. Okay, it's up to you, whatever feels comfortable. If you want to stay up here, that's completely fine. If you want to come down a little bit, that's fine too. Place your left hand on your hip. Okay, and then lift the ball of your right foot up off the floor so you're supported by your strap. Okay, lengthen your ribcage forward. Keep a slight bend in your left knee, and then what you're going to do is bend your right knee, lift your foot up. You can have your arm inside or outside, doesn't really matter. Just keep breathing. Press your left thigh back. If you're falling, that's fine too. Just reset, come back. So you're going to wrap the strap on the ball of your foot, slight bend your left knee, press your outer hip in as you lift up. This could be what you're practicing right here because this is intense. Keep pressing your left thigh back. Keep flexing your right foot. You can keep this knee bent, or just for a breath or two, you're going to straighten your leg. If you don't have a strap, hold on behind your knee. Good. Exhale, slowly come down. Okay. Other side. Strap on the ball of your foot. Okay. If you don't have one, you're just going to lift your leg up. Or if you want to kind of get crazy, you're going to wrap the 2 peace fingers around your big toe and come up. Okay. Or start here, lift up. Same thing. Okay. So wherever you are, you can hold close to your foot, a little bit further away to give you space. Right hand on your hip, firm your outer right hip in, slight bend in your right knee, and then your next inhale, you're going to really press into this leg as you lift up, bending your left knee, lifting your left knee up, flexing your left foot. Keep your torso lifted. And again, if you're falling on this side, that's completely fine. Just, reset, firm this all in, try it again. And go slow, take your time. Keep breathing. Press down into your right foot. Okay, and then from here, so you can have your hand on your strap or behind your thigh. If your hand's on your strap, you're going to straighten your leg. If your hand's on your thigh, you can straighten it for a moment, but then just bend it again. Keep pressing your right thigh back. Keep lifting up. And then exhale, slowly come down. Good. Okay. All right, so I asked you to grab a block or something that resembles a block. Again, if you don't have one, that's fine. So we're going to come down to our back. So we're going to do a bridge pose, but I want to give you an option. So one option is supported bridge pose. So if you have any kind of back condition, I would recommend supported bridge pose, where you put the block under your sacrum at the lowest height, like this. Okay, my cat was in my way. All right, and you want it under your sacrum, which is near your tailbone. If it's too far towards your head, your tailbone's going to be kind of going off the block, and you don't want that. And then if it's too close to like your sit bones, your sit bone distance apart, arms down by your sides. Okay, so this is option 1. Option 2, just bring yourself to the ground. Bend your knees, feet on the floor, arms down by your sides. Press your feet down. If you have that block, I want you to place it between your inner upper thighs, like so, at the narrow width. If you don't have a block, it's fine. You don't need it. Press down into your feet, and make sure your feet are far back enough to where your ankles line up with your knees. You don't want them, too far forward, and you don't want them so close to your bottom that your knees are going past your ankles. Okay, so right by here. Press down into all 4 corners of your feet. Press your arms down. On your next inhale, you're just going to start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. So think about your tailbone lifting up. And then very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, start to rise up. Hips all the way up to your shoulders. And then pause here. Press your arms down. So use your arms. Use your feet. Lift your hips up, but keep lengthening your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. And then on your next inhale, press your shoulders down into the floor as you lift and open your chest up. If you have the block between your thighs, press your thighs into your block. If you don't have a block, pretend like there's a block there and you're pressing your thighs in towards the middle. Keep pressing your hands down. Keep breathing. Draw your chest to your chin. And then your next exhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Lower all the way down. Tailbone is the last thing to touch. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat and bring your knees into touch. All right, we're going to do one more of those. Again, you have the option of doing supported bridge pose, like so, or just hanging out in constructive rest pose like you were just doing with your knees in, feet out. This is an option too. Otherwise, we're going to do one more. Bring your arms down by your sides. Press your feet down. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Knees and ankles in one line. On your next inhale, press your feet down. Start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. So you're lengthening in your lower back. Then start to lift up very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, all the way up to your shoulders. Keep pressing your feet down. Lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Press your heels down. So think about pressing your heels down to the floor and you'll feel your hamstrings fire up. Drawing your chest toward your chin. And then from here, if you want to, you can go a little bit further. You can roll your shoulders under you just to open your chest up a little bit more. Keep pressing your arms down. Keep breathing. You can come down at any time. You don't have to wait for me. Keep drawing your thighs in. And then your next exhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come down. Good. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your knees into touch. If you want to give your arms a break, you can just reach your arms up and allow your arms to hang, kind of like little wet spaghetti noodles. Good. Then bring your arms down by your sides. And then you're going to separate your knees, but keep your feet like wide. And then just drop your knees to the right. You can keep your arms wherever. You can also bring them out into a T shape. And then inhale, bring your knees to the center. Slowly exhale, drop your knees to the left. Inhale, come back to the center. One more time, exhale to the right, very slowly, taking your entire exhale to get there. Inhale to the center, and exhale to the left, slowly. Good. Inhale, come to the center, extend your left leg to the floor. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. You can use your hands and interlace your hands over your right knee. Keep your right foot flexed. Keep your left leg on the ground, pressing your left thigh down. Again, I'm going to show you how you can use a block here. I'm going to turn and face you. So we're going to come into a twist and just have a block nearby just in case. Right arm comes out into a T shape. Your right arm is in one long line. Take your left hand, place it over top your right knee. And you can move your hips a little bit to the right as you drop your right knee over to the left, coming into a twist. And then if this feels stressful, if you have a back issue, I wouldn't recommend deep twisting, but you can take a block and place it underneath of your right knee at any level, the lowest height or the middle height. And that just supports your knee a little bit. Makes it a little bit more comfortable. Or if you don't need it, you don't need it. Good. Think about your right shoulder going towards the floor. And then inhale, slowly come back to the center. Draw your right knee into your chest. And then exhale, extend your right leg down. We're going to switch sides. Inhale, draw your left knee in. So same thing. If you used a block on the other side, you can use on this side as well. Draw your left knee in. Keep both feet flexed. And then you can move your hips a little bit to the left as you drop your left knee over to the right. And bring your left arm out to a T shape. Again, you can have the block, if you're using it, on the lowest height or on the middle height, supporting your knee. Think about your left shoulder drawing towards the floor, reaching out through your left fingertips. And inhale, slowly come back to the center. Draw your left knee into your chest. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. You can sway side to side if you like. Good. Grab behind your knees and rock yourself up to sitting. And come to the tabletop. We're just going to do an arm stretch real quick. We're going to actually do thread the needle. So come to the tabletop. I had to decide which one I wanted to do. You can keep your toes tucked under behind you. Get your left arm in one line, wrist, elbow, shoulder. And then inhale, reach your right arm up. And then exhale, thread your right arm through your left, like so. Keep your left hand on the floor so you're basing into your left hand for support. Right palm flipped up towards the ceiling. Make your right arm in one line. Make sure it's not angled. And then you can place your right cheek on the floor. If that's too stressful, you can take a block. Put a block under your cheek. So that way you're not putting so much stress on your shoulder. And then from here, you can slowly start to draw your chest towards the floor. Only if you want to go a little bit further and you don't feel much. You want to pick your left arm up, take the back of your hand to your lower back. You can do that as well. Okay, bring your left hand to the floor. Press into your left hand. Slowly press yourself up. Look up to your right hand. Exhale, place your right hand down. Switching sides. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Look up. Exhale, thread your left arm through your right. Excuse me, ma'am. Left palm pointing up towards the ceiling. Basing into your right hand for support. And again, you can put your cheek on a block if that feels better and need a little bit of lift. Otherwise, if you need more, you can start to draw your chest towards the floor. And if you want to go more, you can bring your back of the right hand to your lower back. Good. Slowly bring your right hand to the floor. Press into your right hand. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. And exhale, place your left hand down. Good. Come to sitting in any comfortable seated position. Bring your arms out into a T shape. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. Keep lifting up from your torso and draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Think about what arm is on top right now. Inhale, reach your arms back out into a T shape. Exhale, switch the arm that's on top. Good. Inhale, bring your arms out into a T shape. Exhale, bring your hands down. We're almost done, Winnie. Okay. All right, come back down to your backs. Come into happy baby pose for our last stretch of the evening before Shavasana. If you don't like Happy Baby and prefer another stretch, you can do thread the needle or any other stretch you prefer. Feet pointing up towards the ceiling if you're doing Happy Baby. If you can't grab the outer feet, you can grab behind your thighs. Knees come right to the outside of your ribs, so you don't want them too far out. Feet are flexed. You can grab onto your big toes too. And then you're just gently drawing your knees down, pressing your sacrum down, pressing your shoulders down. And then from here, you're going to set yourself up for Shavasana. Bring your legs down, bring your arms down. Feet are a little bit wider than hip bone distance apart. If you prefer legs up the wall and you have a wall nearby, go ahead and get set up for legs up the wall. If you want to put blocks under your knees, cover yourself with a blanket, now's the perfect time to do that. Flip your palms up. Allow your fingers to relax. Allow your feet to relax. Close your eyes. Breathe normally through your nose. Bring yourself back into your breath. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. And just bring some movement to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. And then very slowly roll over to any side and pause there for a moment in a fetal-like position. As slow as you can, with intention, use your top hand to press yourself up to sitting. And then come into any comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. And bring your hands together to heart center. Close your eyes. The lights and love in me acknowledges and honors the lights and love in every one of you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much. Happy Tuesday. For a minute, I think at the beginning of class, I thought it was Monday. It's Tuesday. It just shows you how my week has been. So I hope you have had a great start to the week. I will see you on Thursday, both YouTube Live and Facebook Live for this week. Got some new things coming, so stay tuned for that. Continue to let people know about, live yoga. It's great to do. I miss everybody so much, and I miss that face-to-face interaction and just feeling the energy in the room. But I'm super thrilled to be able to do this with you. I still feel the energy, like coming into this, I'm stressed, but by the end of it, I feel good, and it's because of you all. So thank you so much for allowing me the honor to teach you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. Thursday is a more of a movement vinyasa. It is all levels, but it's for beginners too. So don't be afraid. We're just going to focus on strengthening the body and some movement. And I provide modifications, so don't be afraid. You can do it. And then Saturday is going to be more of a gentle flow. So it's going to be beginners. It's not going to be as, crazy. It's going to be more gentle, but with some movement in there as well. And then I'll have the schedule for next week. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment. Feel free to message me. I am looking forward to hearing from you all. I miss everyone so much. And I hope to see you either virtually or in real life soon. See you Thursday.